Okay, hello, movie and TV fans. Welcome back to Back Reviews. Hawkeye has come to an end, so it is time to stop and rank all 8 main characters from the worst to the best. While I'm doing main characters, I'm using the term pretty loosely. I'm not gonna be doing like the tracksuit mafia guys, but I am going to be including like Kazi and other smaller but still characters that they appear in like a few episodes. Um, the characters of this show, I think, were pretty good. Whereas in WandaVision, Quicksilver slash Ralph Boner was a big letdown. And also in Falcon the Winter Soldier, Sharon Carter was a bit of a letdown. I feel like this show didn't really have many that bad characters. There's only like one. So with that said, this is Max Reviews. I have Brayden, and last place here is gonna be Kazi. I just really didn't like this character because he didn't do much. He was sort of there for Echo. He sort of worked for Kingpin, but he didn't do a ton to move things forward, and he didn't get many like standout action scenes. He was a bit above the level of the Tracksuit Mafia, but he was like their boss kind of a thing, but he's smarter than them, and he sort of has a relationship with Echo, but he gets killed at the end of the show, and when he goes against Hawkeye, he immediately gets taken out. So he doesn't really have much to do in this show at all, and so that's why I gotta put him low. All the other characters I actually enjoyed to some degree. With that said, 7th place is Eleanor Bishop, Kate Bishop's mom. I think she was nice to have, but it was sort of not that big of a thing to notice that, like, she's up to no good. Like, even episode 1, she's like, I have powerful friends too, and then the guy gets killed. So, she probably has something to do with it. And so it is set, we figured out that she is the person that hired somebody to kill that guy. And she's working for Kingpin, but she just goes off to go with her daughter. And that seems very interesting to me, especially how she got left. Like, she just drives off, so, well, in the back of a police car. So she's sent to prison, so she's still out there, but it could be very interesting. She's like, is this what heroes do, sending their mother to jail on Christmas? And so she does make some sense with her stuff, but I didn't like her. She didn't have that big thing. She was basically the mom that sort of betrayed them. 6th place here is going to be Kingpin. I don't think this is the same Kingpin that we got in the Daredevil show, and if it is, I am pretty disappointed. But I thought he was good enough. If he was the Kingpin from the Daredevil show, that he beats all these characters by massive amounts. But in this show, there was a bunch of hype around he might be actually in episode 3, and then in episode 5, we figure out he is actually there. And when we see him in episode 6, he could be menacing. You could tell that he is having slight rage things, but also he's wearing like a Hawaiian suit in the winter, and just like he seems a bit more, I don't know, maybe laid back than he was in the show. Just to see the show, you need the show to understand the Kingpin, sort of a thing. And it's a great show, Daredevil. You need to watch Daredevil to sort of understand him. But also, if you watch Daredevil, then you're gonna feel extremely let down by him. So it's so hard with this character. I don't know what Marvel was doing 100%. And I don't know if he 100% needed to be in the show, but I am happy that he's in the MCU. But he did get shot at by Echo at the end. So I'm feeling like I'm thinking he's still alive somehow. He loses his eyes like in the comics or something. And maybe this is a variant of him, and I'd be fine with that if this is the real Kingpin. Eesh, he got taken out by Echo. He really is. He gets like shot in the chest, and then just pulls the arrow. So he is better than Eleanor and Kazi, but I was hoping he would be a lot higher. Like for me with Loki, Kang the Conqueror, when he showed up, that was amazing. and that blew my mind and is what I wanted it to be. When Kingpin showed up, it was okay. 5th place here is going to be Jack, or Sword Guy, as he is a red herring done right. In Falcon the Winter Soldier, I think we were looking for, like, who's the power broker? We thought it was Sharon Carter. It was Sharon Carter, and that just is like, wow, not that much of a thing. But for a red herring who killed Armand, he was a pretty good distraction, because we know something's going wrong with him, and he seems very cheery. And you could tell, like, I could very easily see him going from cheery to be, like, dark. And it was just fun to see him in the final episode. Like, he gets out of jail because he supposedly killed somebody with a sword. And then he's walking around the place at the party with a sword strapped to his leg. It's just, like, he's so funny. And also, he's fighting for them, and he's just, like, on their side kind of thing, just jousting with the guys with his sword. He's a really fun guy, and I was considering, like, putting him a bit lower, but I enjoyed him a lot more than Kingpin and Eleanor and Kazi. And he's just fun. And the actor that plays him is really great. It'd be cool to see more of Jack. Yeah, it was just surprising. 4th place here is going to be Echo. And there was a bunch of sort of, I'd say maybe pressure for her to be good, because she is a deaf person, and a deaf lady who's actually deaf and has a leg, not an actual leg, an amputee leg, and she's going to be getting her entire show. And we're just like, who is Echo? Like, they announced it, and we're like, who is Echo? And she's going to be in this, and then we got introduced to her at the end of episode 2, and we see her sort of backstory in episode 3, and then she sort of comes full circle sort of a thing by killing Kingpin, or at least that's sort of what she thinks. Maybe he's still alive. Maybe she just took his eyes, but she should feel slightly satisfied. So, after seeing her in this, I think I'm looking a bit more forward to her show. I thought she was pretty good in this. Like, as a character, she's pretty good. You have the thing with her dad. As a fighter, she's great at fighting, and just her stuff. It's really cool to see what she does, and just the emotions that she could bring while not saying a word. She doesn't say a word, and she just brings these emotions in many ways. And it's very interesting, and I like that Marvel's doing different things like this. And I think it's cool that they're giving this actress, who this is legitimately, I looked her up, I think this is her only movie or anything that she's been in, and she has an amputee leg, she can't hear, and they're giving her own show. And I think that's really cool. But in this show, I thought she was fine. It'd be nice to see her in her own show, and that's basically my thoughts on her. It was just nice. Before we get into the top 3 here, just thank you for watching this if you are. I think this is coming out on Sunday. I don't know. It might be. It's either Christmas or Sunday when I'm going to put this out. So just thank you. Merry Christmas. It's that time of the year. Hawkeye, just so you know, as a point of reference for the Hawkeye shows. I'll talk about it more at the end. But anyway, 3rd place is going to be Yelena. And just, I loved Yelena. She was the best character from Black Widow. She stole the show. And in this, she doesn't necessarily 100% steal the show, but she because she doesn't have that much presence in it as other characters. Like, Echo is in it longer, but Yelena's better. And Jack and Eleanor and Kazi are all in it more, but Yelena's better because she still has this really fun stuff. Like, I'm gonna go see the Statue of Liberty, and she's like, oh, she's making macaroni and cheese, you're a villain, and she's pressing the buttons. I was sort of concerned for being in this show because at the end of Black Widow, she doesn't necessarily have that big of a motivation. Like, he killed her sister, yes, but it's just like a one conversation thing, and it takes a while to get to this conversation. But I really liked her in this. She could add the fun stuff, but she's on a mission. She's like, I'm here to kill Clint Barton, and that just sort of brings this more weight to her character, and she's sort of growing up, and you get to see when she blipped and when she came back. And she was in Black Widow. I want to see her more for something. Just, it seems very likely that she could be at the head or at least part of some organization or something. That would be extremely cool to see. Like if she was part of some sort of anti-Avengers thing, like with John Walker. That would be really cool. Or something like this, because I love her personality and everything in this. So she was great. But in second place here is gonna be Hawkeye. And we were going into this show, and first two episodes, I was like, the show is called Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is not too great in this show. I prefer Kate Bishop. And then we get Hawkeye. He gets more emotions and stuff. Like, the whole thing with a hearing aid in episode 3. And I feel like it makes sense with that he has that. And from Avengers Endgame, being the only human that survived that had armor around him or something when the explosion happened. That makes sense. And just him trying to get back to his family. It's not a huge arc or anything, but him dealing with the Ronin stuff and then trying to get back to his family. That was nice. I just feel like Hawkeye is leaving the MCU pretty soon. He's not going to be here for a super long amount of time. He's one of the few remaining original Avengers, the original 6. Over, like, half of them are gone. Him, Hulk, and let me think, and Thor are still alive. Thor, he's going to be staying a while, but is he going to get overshadowed in this movie? Hulk, there's She-Hulk. And Hawkeye, you got like this, it seems like we're getting to the end with him. But he was really nice to the show as being like the mentor to Kate. And it was, I really like Hawkeye. I feel like he was supposed to be in this kind of show. He seems like the perfect character to get his own show, sort of thing like this. And like in Black Widow, he gets overshadowed by the new person, but not as much as in Black Widow. So, coming in first is going to be our new superhero, Kate Bishop. And Kate Bishop, I just feel like Haley Steinfeld, she's a great actor. She's been building up to something like this with being in Spider-Verse and then in Bumblebee. She's doing great with everything that she's doing for movies. And in this show, she really got to shine, to have her great personality and just bouncing off Hawkeye and Yelena and just trying to figure out everything. Like all these characters, these main characters, there's Eleanor, Jack, and Yelena, and they're mostly centered around Kate and interacting with her. Hawkeye, he's got his family, but they're not main characters or anything. So we're mostly sort of centering around Kate. And I like that it's called Hawkeye because Kate Bishop, the show, doesn't sound right. But Hawkeye sort of giving him his thing finally, but introducing Kate. So Kate Haley Steinfeld plays her to perfection, and she's just going through this, being a superhero, trying to figure it out, while being there for Hawkeye, sort of a thing. And I just really liked her. She was a great character for this show, and I can't wait to see more of her, along with Yelena. I'd rather see more of Yelena right now, but for her, it'd be just great to see more of these characters. As I was saying right before, for Hawkeye, the show, MCU shows, all that, there's just so much going on in here in December with me for Spider-Man rankings, Hawkeye rankings, Book of Boba Fett, Cobra Kai show stuff, all that stuff happening that I will not be able to do all that. And so I'm going to be ranking every show that I've seen 2021 after I finish watching Book of Boba Fett. Well, I don't know if I'm going to include that, but Cobra Kai and then maybe Book of Boba Fett. And so I'm going to be ranking the shows then if you want to see my thoughts on that. So subscribe, like this video, and just Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. Braden out.